Alright, welcome back guys. Sorry about that last video. Wasn't very good because I kind of had to end it. I'll be watching the time now. I didn't know it would end at 15 minutes, but so the top that these videos will get at is 15 minutes. So let's begin where we left off. Okay. Okay. Well, where is Lily? She hasn't spoken to me since last night. I thought she was just playing a joke on me, but now I don't know. I looked at Josh with a confused stare as he began to pace around a little bit. I put the phone on loudspeaker and asked her, "Why do you think Lily was playing a joke on you? Did she say anything odd?" "Yes," her girlfriend replied. "She sent me a message at around 1:30 a.m. I looked at Josh baffled before I asked again, "What did the message say?" "Help me." I looked at Josh with wide and worried eyes. Lily would never pull a prank like that on anyone, let alone her own girlfriend. She always told us how worried she'd be about her girlfriend getting paranoid, so we knew she wouldn't send a message like that unless she had a reason. I continued to speak with her girlfriend, but I was getting nowhere, so I reassured her that we know where Lily was and she'd be calling her back tonight. Her girlfriend seemed suspicious, but just agreed and put the phone down. Myself and Josh paced back and forth. We had no idea what this could mean. Why would Lily send a message like that? We continued to think for a while and decided until we knew where Lily was, we were going to skip our lectures. We spent a long time thinking over things and began to write down the connections we could make. Afterwards, Josh read out the list to me so I could think them over. Okay, we'll scroll down here. First, Lily goes into Daniel's room at around 10 p.m. She is locked in his room. Then we return home at 2 a.m. During that time, around 1:30 a.m., we found out that Lily texted her girlfriend with a message saying, "Help me." You discover that neither Lily or Daniel are home yet. Daniel's door is unlocked and his laptop is still left on. You find the image and then leave. You then return to your room and heard Daniel come home, but not Lily. Lily is still not back home yet, but Daniel is. What the heck could this all mean? I thought over it for a while and then came to a conclusion. I didn't want to make this connection, but the only connection I could salvage. Daniel did something to Lily. We have to confront Daniel tonight if Lily doesn't come home between now and tonight, okay? Josh looked shocked, but he agreed. Daniel would be our only chance of finding out what happened to Lily. Later that night, there was still no signs of Lily. We knew that her girlfriend would be calling soon, so we decided to turn the phone off. We didn't want to try and reassure her with false information. We waited until around 6 p.m. before Daniel finally came home. He looked rather startled to see us both standing there in the living room, and he lightly placed his art folder and satchel down against the sofa as we both stood up. Josh spoke to him, and I could tell he was trying to keep his composure. "Daniel, we'd like to have a talk. It's about Lily." Daniel's eyes seemed to widen ever so slightly, but nothing I thought was worth thinking over. He tilted his head at us, looking confused as he asked us, "Why? Is something wrong?" I shook my head is what it should be. Okay. I didn't want him to think we were accusing him of anything. We would never get any answers out of him if we straight up accused him like that. Daniel seemed to look a little on edge, looking away from us as he itched his wrist under his baggy gray jumper. He pushed his rather dark black bangs out of his face as he spoke. "Then what's wrong? Is she okay? I mean, I know she left her phone here last night, so I suppose there wouldn't be any way to get a hold of her." We didn't say anything. We weren't too sure on what to say to him. How were we supposed to ask him if he did anything to Lily without him taking offense? Scroll down again. God, my voice is going. I'm gonna get some water. That's better. Okay. I then realized something. It took me a moment to realize it before I spoke. You just said that she left her phone here last night, right? How the heck did you know that? I could see Josh's eyes lit up. He just realized the same thing I did. How on earth did Daniel know she'd left her phone behind unless they went somewhere? We already acknowledged the fact that Lily never leaves her phone anywhere, so how on earth did he know she had left it behind? Daniel didn't answer us. He was silent for a while before he pushed past us and walked into his room, slamming the door shut. We walked over to his door, banging on it harshly before he shouted, "Leave me alone! I have coursework to do. I'm sure Lily will show up tonight. Just stop being so paranoid." We just didn't know what to do. Daniel clearly knew way more than he let on, but there was no way we were going to get that out of him. We walked back into the living room and slumped back down. I ran a hand through my hair. What the heck was going on? I then realized that Daniel had left his bags on the sofa. He must have been too flustered to pick them up when he stormed into his room. I peered around to Daniel's door, hearing no sound of him leaving his room yet. I knew soon enough he would be coming out to get his bags. In a moment of madness, I picked up the satchel and emptied its contents onto the coffee table. I could see Josh's eyes widen before he whispered to me frantically, "Well, what are you doing? What if he sees you?" I didn't care. I needed to know anything I could about Lily. She was a roommate, but also a best friend. I couldn't just leave this to solve itself. I pushed through documents and came across what looked like a ticket. I crumpled it up and pushed it in my pocket. Then I found a zip-up document bag. I pushed it into Josh's hands and told him to go hide it. He complied. Okay, and went and hid it in his room. I then quickly put all the other stuff back into Daniel's bag and rested it up like it looked before. I then got up and walked into Josh's room. I watched Daniel go back to the living room and pick up his bags. Before he walked back to his room and into his room again, Josh grabbed the zip-up file from under his pillow as we both sat down on his bed. We didn't say anything. We just read the front cover of the file. Teeth. It sent chills up my spine. I knew that whatever was inside would have a connection to the image I found on the computer, but what we saw was nothing we expected. It was a series of photographs. The first photo was a picture of what looked like an abandoned room of sorts. The walls were covered in old floral wallpaper, and the floor was just damp wood. It looked like it hadn't been used in years. Then the next photos were just pictures of tools and plastic tools. We then noticed that the tools were linked to dentistry. Like needles and drills. It was pretty creepy, but it was the next photos that made us both drain of color. It was just photos of Lily smiling. We flipped through every single photo of Lily, and in each one she had her big toothy smile. Such a sweet smile. One of her most distinct features was her large front tooth. Just her left one. We always found it cute, but now it was no laughing matter. We noticed on the back of the photographs there were labels, and each tooth on each photo was marked. There were notes on the photos that said things like remove or replace. It knocked Josh sick, and I was more terrified now than ever. We knew that we couldn't confront Daniel about these photos. It would get us nowhere. We just sat in silence for a long time, staring at the photos with disbelief. I then remembered the ticket I found and stuffed in my pocket. I reached into my pocket with a shaky hand and pulled it out, bringing to my vision. It read, Group Ticket 2, Location, Station Road, Time and Date 28:09:11, 11:34 p.m. We both looked at each other with firm gazes. That was just yesterday evening. We knew exactly what we had to do now. We had to find where Lily was. We never saw Daniel the rest of the evening, and Josh had become incredibly paranoid. He asked if he could sleep in my room tonight, although I thought it was a bit awkward. I didn't mind. I mean, he was scared real bad, so I didn't want to leave him alone like that. When Josh was sleeping, I printed off the disturbing image for referencing. Then I had spent most of the night planning for the next day. I had already emailed our lecturers, letting them know we weren't going to show up because we felt sick, and I checked how far away Station Road was. To my surprise, it was only an hour's drive away, so I figured we could take Josh's car up to Station Road and figure out the location where Daniel and Lily have been from there. We are pulling up pretty close to 15 minutes, so yeah, we're at 11:30, so. Okay. The whole time I kept staring at the Teeth.jpg image. A horrible thought crept into my mind. I didn't want to think about it, but it could have been a possibility. Was the person in the picture Lily? Every time I thought about it, I'd shake it off, telling myself I was just paranoid. But it would all add up. The timing, the photographs, it would all make sense. I didn't want to believe it, and I certainly wasn't going to until we found Lily. The next morning, myself and Josh got up around 6 a.m. We wanted to be out of the dorm before Daniel woke up, and we made sure to lock our own doors. We also decided to take Lily's phone with us. We didn't want to leave anything behind that would indicate that we were suspicious. We left the dorm and got into Josh's car. I had brought a long, small bag full of different things, such as the photographs, a flashlight, a camera, and a notepad with a pen. We loaded ourselves into the car and made our way towards Station Road. We were able to pinpoint it with my mobile GPS. Okay, we just hit 12 minutes, so, okay. When we got there, we found that we were in a rather abandoned-looking area of town. The place was practically deserted. All we could see were tall, crumbling buildings and little empty houses. We took out the photo of the room and began to walk up to each little house. We pressed our faces to the glass to see if we could make out the floral wallpaper like the room in the photograph. We spent a good few hours doing this nothing. We were getting pretty angry at this point. We just wanted to get Lily back. Josh got so angry that he walked up to one of the house walls, kicking it harshly as he shouted from the top of his lungs, Daniel, you sick bastard. Okay, I'm just going to stop it here. We are at 13 minutes, but that's pretty close, and I don't want to stop in the middle of something. So I love you all, and peace out.